Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's continued to watch. Today I'm going to be preserving some of my first earlies. I had far too many that I could eat and they were going to spoil before I could get round to eating them all. So I'm pressure canning some without water, so they'll be good for mashed potato or roast potatoes. Anything you want, just open the jar and heat them up, or you could just eat them cold out of the jar. And I'm also going to be dehydrating them to make my own smash, mash, whatever you want to call it. This is a nice recipe to have because one little tiny scoop I can mix up when the grandkids come round. Instant mash, and it's flavoursome. And I know exactly what's in it. It's got no chemicals and stuff like that. Very, very simple to do and cost effective. You don't have to have grown your own potatoes. Certain times of the year in the UK, around Christmas and things like that, you can have a whole 5 kilo potatoes for about 5p. So it might be a good idea to buy a load and do it around Christmas time, and then you've got enough then to get you through the winter. So without further ado, let's crack on. The way I'm doing the potatoes today is I'm putting them in with just a bit of salt, no liquid, so that they can be used for mashed potato or soups or anything. I find that they hold their flavour really well when you pressure can this way. So I've filled the jar up almost to the top. I haven't left the header space because obviously there's no liquid in there. The potatoes will produce liquid, and there probably will be quite a bit of starch left in the bottom. So I've got 4 jars already in the canner with the water in that's to my recommendations. I shall pop the lid on and bring it up to boil and vent for 10 minutes and then set the timer. I've done exactly the same with some smaller jars. I've cut the potatoes up slightly smaller, put them in, bit of salt, on with the lids, and again vent for 10 minutes. My weight is a £10 for my altitude, and it is 35 minutes for 1 pint and 40 minutes for quarts. That's the jars all done. I know definitely 4 out of the 5 big ones have sealed. Not sure on the other one. I have to wait until tomorrow to find out. All the other little jars are all sealed, so you can use them for sauté potatoes or mash, whatever you want. Just take the lids, heat them up, and do whatever you want with them. All shelf stable, and will sit on the shelf for about a year. While the 2 canners are doing my canned potatoes, I'm going to boil up the rest of the potatoes to make dehydrated potato mash powder. I cut them all up fairly small and soaked them in salt water for half an hour, changed the water and put them on to boil. The potatoes didn't take very long at all. Strained them off. There's still a bit of starch water left in the bottom of the colander there. I should keep that in case I need to add some to the potatoes. I'm going to mash it down. We might need a bit of the extra water in it to make a smooth puree. Everything seems so quiet now the pressure canners are turned off. But I'm going to make the dehydrated mash. I'm going to use a ice cream scoop to pre-portion one portion, so I can dehydrate that separately and then weigh that, and then I'll know how much a scoop is at the end. All I've done is, like I say, boiled it down. I didn't actually have to add anything to it, any water into it. I added some salt. I don't add pepper because sometimes that can make the colour alter a little bit. You could use white pepper, I suppose, but I can always season it when I want to reuse it. So just going to measure out 1 scoop, flatten that down a bit. So I know when I weigh it, that will be 1 portion. Don't think I quite got it on the video, so I've just re-altered the angle of the camera. That is just 1 scoop and just flattened out a bit. And I shall add all the rest onto the trays and pop it in the dehydrator. So like I say, there's no butter or anything in this because it won't last as long with dairy products in it. I'm going to leave quite big score marks in it so that it will help with the dehydrating process. So that's it. After 6 hours of drying, I snapped it all up into smaller bits and put it back in the dehydrator for another couple of hours. This is the 1 scoop portion. Just going to weigh it. 17 grams of dehydrated potato is 1 scoop of mash. So I'm just going to grind it all up into a powder now. I blended the powder down as far as I can get it. It doesn't matter, there's a few little lumps in there because they obviously rehydrate altogether anyway. I did find it easier to put all the big lumps in a sturdy sort of bag, a bag for life, and give it a good few whacks and rolls with it to break it down as much as possible before I put it in the blender. So I'm going to put it in the jar. I also found that one of these little measuring pots was exactly 17 ounces, so I'm going to put that in the jar with it. I've put in the measuring scoop, the silica packs and the oxygen absorber, and clear instructions on the front how to rehydrate. This is some of the mash that I have rehydrated. I boiled the kettle and put a little bit of dry powder in and added the hot water just a bit at a time. I did, because mine wasn't a fine powder, you could really do with a grinder, but I don't have that. I had to leave mine and then a bit later on come back to it and whisk it up to get the fine granules out so it was a smoother puree. It's always hard to rehydrate a smaller amount than it is a larger amount. I hope the picture does it justice. Before you add your water, you can always put some butter in or some cheese, then add your water, let it stand for 10 minutes, come back, give it a whisk up, and then you can adjust it to see if it needs any more water or if you like the consistency. That's the end of the video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you did, please give it an old like and a subscribe. Thank you for watching. Till next time, bye.